Good morning, all. I'm Ken DiPietro from Next Gen Communications, and it's my job to try to live up to everybody that's spoken before me, and believe me, if you don't think I'm a little nervous about that, I am. Okay, I'm here to talk to you about applications, and I'm going to try to give you a glimpse into what I believe we're going to see in the future as defined by maybe 3 to 5 years out. Because if you're looking at building a network today, what's going to happen 2, 3, 4 years out, and has been mentioned before, is that your hardware is rapidly going to become obsoleted. And if you're building something now without looking as to what might happen 18 months, 2 years out, you're going to find very, very much to your chagrin that your network could be obsolete before you finish paying for it. Never a good model, believe me. Okay, as this is defined as Muni Wireless 101, I'm going to start with a little bit of basics, and I may be speaking under a lot of your comprehension level, and I apologize for that. And we'll rapidly get into some more technical and advanced discussions. Okay, applications are everything. Obviously, you expect me to say that. You need to define all the important applications first. Now, one of the things that ESME has driven home at these conferences in the past and really needs to be said again is there is no one right model. No one can say to you, oh yes, you should be emulating Philadelphia or San Francisco or St. Cloud, Florida, or anywhere. You need to sit down and look at the needs of your community, your business community, your users. A university town, for example, is going to be an awful lot different of user complexity than a small rural community. And they're going to have different needs, and your network is going to reflect that. So the first thing you're going to want to look at is the must-have applications. For example, what is important to you? Is internet connectivity important to you? Is public safety important to you? Are we talking it's a business community that's going to need advanced data services as a primary function? And if you have a very small business community, maybe that's not something that is necessarily important to you. But again, this is the listing that you all are each individually going to have to sample your community and find out what is necessary on your community's basis. Now, once you figured out what has to happen, what about the wish list? What's going to be good for, well, I have a 15-year-old child. Any of you out there having a teenage child can say that they use the internet much differently than most of us adults do, or at least I like to refer to myself as one. My son sits down, he's got 2 YouTube videos streaming, one loading while one's watching. He's got 7 or 8 IM windows open. He's probably got a game minimized in his taskbar that he's ready to launch into whenever he gets finished with a particular video. And he can suck up 5 megabits worth of bandwidth all by himself on a quiet afternoon. Now that's very different from those of us that surf or maybe grab some email and do some reading or what have you. Now, who are you building this network for? And if you live in a community that has a bunch of 13, 15-year-old kids, you're going to need to build a much more robust network than if you live in a community that has a bunch of people like myself. Okay, now let's look at evaluating the cost and the value of these applications. How important is public safety to you? Does public safety need to communicate between police, fire, EMT? What's going on in your particular community that has value to you, and then put a value on that number. Okay, cost-benefit analysis for each application. Well, I think at this point it's pretty evident that internet has a value to it. What is it? Well, maybe a 300 or 500K might be a free service. Certainly people are still paying for dial-up at $5 to $10 a month, which for whatever that's worth. So a dial-up replacement service has a set value of $5 to $10 a month. A high-speed internet service, whatever that may mean in your community, can be anywhere from $35 to $60 a month for a cable bill or a high-speed DSL. So we actually have some valuation already put in place. Now that's on the lower end. Let's look on the higher end. As you've heard today, people are talking about things like DS3s and T1s. A T1 in some areas can run you $600 to as high as $1,500 a month. Now this is a real serious piece of change here that you're talking about. If your network is not capable of supplying this level of advanced data services, you're literally leaving out a substantial portion of the potential revenue that can help pay for this network, and you need to consider that into the mix. All right, now that you've got all this information together, you've got some idea of what you're going to need to build for a network. You know what you're going to try to carry across it for applications. Now you know what the network needs to be. A good analogy might be a highway system. If you've only got 20 or 30 cars an hour going down the road, you might only need 2 lanes. If you've got 600 cars per hour, you're probably talking 4 lanes. Now that you've decided how many cars or applications, as it were, is going to run down your internet superhighway, now you need to design the highway that fits that traffic pattern. Okay, plan your work, work your plan. No new wisdom there. Understand your community's needs. Keep track of the cool technologies, and I'm going to mention a few of them that are coming out right now that are kind of mind-boggling, even from last year's perspective. Get the latest and the best information. Now, this is something I do, and this may sound ridiculous, but I read every day, 2 to 3 hours a day religiously. And if you haven't got somebody that's keeping track of what's coming down the pike at you in 90 days, 6 months, a year out, you're in for one hell of a surprise, because this field is evolving faster than I can even believe. And I've been doing this since 1998, 1999. Design with an eye to the future. I talked a little bit about that. I don't think I can stress that any more clearly. You really need to be looking at not what's going